Coming to you live at the GAMA Trade Show at the Peppermill Resort and Casino in Reno, Nevada, Twist Gaming! Now take it away, Matt. All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, and I'm Matt here from GAMA 2019 in Reno, Nevada, bringing you all the board game coverage all week long. And I'm here with David from Junk Spirit Games. David.
Hey, man.
How you doing so far?
I'm doing awesome. We just got here, so it's been great.
GAMA Day 1.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's not like other convention Day 1. It's pretty chill, but I hope it's treating you good so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I've met a bunch of people that I've never met before, and great contacts, great people, so it's great. It's awesome.
Fantastic. And this game that you brought to show us today, I'm super excited about because it looks adorable.
Yes, absolutely. Adorable is kind of our brand, right? Yeah, so it's Battle of the Bards, which, of course, started as a good dad pun joke. What about Battle of the Bards instead of Battle of the Bands? And here we are. So it's a dad joke pun turned into board game form. Yeah,
sold.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely,
You don't have to tell me anything else.
I think we're closed out. Next person. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So essentially, what we wanted to do is, my design goals for the game is I wanted to get a game where you can roll tons of dice. You're not beholden to the dice rolls. I wanted every turn to feel like a puzzle for each individual player, and eventually, kind of a deck builder kind of mechanics showed up into the game. So initially it was a dice rolling game where you just roll tons of dice, and then eventually I thought, well, what if you kind of build into a stronger bard troupe, which was essentially your bard band, right? Mm-hmm. And so every different character in the game, they're all very, very cute and animated in this style by Justin Hillgrove. He's our artist.
So I want to show off some of these on the screen here. So we've got the veteran singer.
Oh, yeah, there you are. Yep.
This one might be my favorite, though.
Yeah. Well, she's actually our flagship character. She's actually featured on the box art.
Yeah.
And we're really happy with her. Whoa, where do we go with this thing?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'll move this out of your way there.
Yeah. So if you want to throw that down there. No, here we are. There we go. Hey. So yeah. So Battle of the Bards is, obviously we've got these really cool anthropomorphic, which I can never say correctly.
That's part of the word is not being able to pronounce it correctly.
Exactly, yeah. You just munch the middle of that thing and you're fine. Mm-hmm. But of course, we have this like very, very strong rock theme with it, and so what you do in the game, just like you do in every other deck builder, you're going to end up starting with the same deck that everybody else has. So you're going to have what we call our wanted posters. You're going to have 2 bards of each type. That's singers, dancers, musicians, and then illusionists. And then you have 1 roadie, right? And
you're good.
There you go. Okay, cool. And so then each player is given a lead character. So in this case, you can have this lead dancer, for example, and then the dancer is going to give you a performance token and 2 dice to start with, and that just kind of seeds your set collection kind of thing.
Okay.
And so then obviously you'll take all the cards, you'll shuffle them together. You're going to then have 5 cards at the beginning of every round. You're then going to select 3 of them to put on stage. So I could play these ones here, for example, and the rest of them, the other 2 cards that are in your hand, they actually stay backstage in your hand, and you can use them during the course of the game. Every bard shows dice that you're going to gain. So in this case, I'm going to get 2 purples and a blue. They show at the top left what you get. And then you might have dice from a previous turn, and it's pretty normal to roll about this many dice every turn.
So a nice hefty handful of dice.
Oh, yes,
then.
Hefty handful of dice. This was the main focus of the game. I want to be able to do this right here, rolling 8 to 12 dice in a round, pretty normal. And then you're basically going to then go into a phase where each player is taking separate actions in a circle until everybody passes. Mm-hmm. You'll be taking 2 actions at a time. And you can take multiple different actions. You can fuel your bard's abilities. You can create performances. That's these tokens here.
Okay.
And you would essentially, you can create, let me throw this out so that it looks like I know what I'm doing here. You can create performances as the game continues by discarding sequences. So you see this right here. See this one, the 2, 3, 4 right there?
Yep, sure do.
Or I could discard a 1, 2, 3 like that. And so if I were to discard 2, 3, and 4 as an action, I would create one of these purple performances. In this case,
so a sequence of 3 sequential numbers.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just 3 numbers in a row. So 4, 5, 6, and so on. And then what you're doing is you're trying to capture audiences by turning in your performances.
And that's based off of this here. So is there going to be like one of these cards out,
No,
multiple of these cards
at
out?
any given time, there's 4 showing.
Gotcha.
One will be on top of the deck, and you'll have to actually discard one of the backstage cards to be able to have access to it. But those 3 cards, those 3 performances that are shown there, that just kind of shows you what you're shooting for. And every once in a while, you'll see someone at the table going for the same one you are, and so it's kind of becomes a race to capture the right audience.
Gotcha.
You can see that number in the top left. Top right corner is number 7. That's your victory points right there. Very simple. So the progression of using gaining resources over time, or kind of building up to your victory points, is very much like you see in most deck builder games. But it's the dice rolling aspect and the fact that essentially every round, when you roll all these dice, you can do multiple different things. So if you look at what we have, for example, here, if I had turned these in for a performance, then I've got these other dice left over, and you can see they look crazy. It's 3 1s and 4 6s, which is just ridiculous. But high or low, nothing in the middle. But all the bards, their abilities basically they have a range. So this one here that I'm pointing at, this essentially shows that it needs a dice to fuel it that's 3 or higher. So I could turn in one of the 6s. It doesn't matter the color. And then very simply, since these are all basic bards, they just give you another die. Some of the more advanced bards that I was showing before, they have crazier abilities. This is just going to give you another die. And when you get another die in your turn, you just very simply roll it into your set.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, you can kind of roll into other abilities. Also, those 2 cards I was talking about that you had in your hand, you can discard one of them, and they kind of work backstage for you to let you manipulate your dice. You can either re-roll any or all of your dice, or you can just notch one of them up or down. So I could turn this into a 5 potentially. Let's say I had 2 4s and a 6. I could knock this to a 5, and then now I've created a new performance essentially.
Oh,
right?
There you go.
Right. And then additionally, if you have one of those wanted posters, which actually has multiple uses in the game, this is kind of simulating like wanted posters around the town. You're essentially telling everybody, we're looking for more bards. And you can have the other character thematically. The other character will go around town and put wanted posters up around town, and then you'll come to the veteran bard line, which will be in the middle of the game. And this is kind of the section of most deck builders where you've got a section where everybody has access to a veteran, or in this case, what we call our veteran bard line. But you have access to other cards that you'll buy and put in your deck.
Gotcha.
And when you do that, when you use the wanted poster to do that, you also need to discard 2 dice that show the same number. So as you saw with all those 6s and 1s that I had, I could have discarded any 1s or the 6s to do that. The newest bard in town is something you need to think about as well. So as these guys get bought, they scroll on down as normal, as any other conveyor belt like system. And what happens is the one that's right next to the deck is called the newest bard in town. So that wanted poster, if you try to use the wanted poster to buy that character, you actually just have to discard a 3rd die. But if you put the wanted poster in play, then that's kind of thematically like a one night only type thing where you essentially have this character playing for you for 1 round. So when you draw the wanted poster, you have to make a decision about if you're going to put it on stage or you're going to try to use it to buy a character.
So the immediate benefit of the on stage, or of, hey, I want to add this guy to my deck. He's really awesome.
Right,
Okay.
right, absolutely. Yeah, and I always kind of tell people we've been playtesting this game pretty heavily since Gen Con. We're probably around 500 to 600 games in on playtesting.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, I know. And I still really enjoy the game, and we have yet to find the naysayer that's like, oh, cool, I'm going to go do something else. Usually people are really happy with the way that I've made the dice work in the game. You do feel like you have a puzzle in front of you, and people really appreciate that, because anybody who's played lots of dice games know that you can just trash yourself and make your game go bad and definitely have bad turns or bad rounds just by rolling badly, and you really can't do that in this game.
That's good. Yeah, I know that a lot of people have that problem where they feel like they get stuck. Like
Right.
they rolled bad and like, well, I can't do anything on my turn.
Right.
And it's nice to have that mitigated and have that be a focus of the game itself, because you don't want to detract from, hey, I'm just sitting here for a couple minutes not doing anything.
Right. I rolled bad, therefore I do nothing for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little silly. And that was definitely a design focus. I actually, for this game and all the games I've made, I actually write out what I want. And the 2 things were I want you to roll, actually 3 things. Number 1, I want you to roll lots of dice. Number 2, I don't want you to be beholden to the dice rolls. And then number 3, I want you to feel like you're playing a puzzle.
Very cool.
And we've done it.
It looks like it conveys it from what I'm seeing.
No, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, no, we've got lots of there's around 30 different characters in the veteran singers that show up. So every game will be very different from each other. There's around 26 or 30 different audience cards as well. And the audience cards, I should have noted that when you get the victory points from the audience cards, in normal games, normal deck builders, most deck builders, victory points go straight into your deck. In this game, they go into like a tableau-like thing because every audience card has an ability that's just for you.
Oh, that's when you win over that audience, you get that ability.
For the rest of the game.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can kind of watch that. There's a whole encore system, too, that is thematically like the part where, it's like, all right, audience, who do you think should win? And then, there's a little punch of points at the end that you got to watch for, and some of the audience cards will help you win that encore round.
So with the performance engineer, is it always 3?
Or in some cases it is
vary?
2. We have a couple that are 2s right
Oh,
now.
okay.
Yeah, but most of them are 3. Some of them are like that where it's like 2 and 1. Some of them are, in this case here,
3
we got one that's all 3 the same. And then we also have this one here, and I'm sure you can probably guess what that icon is.
Is that a wild card?
That is a wild. Essentially, any color will fit the bill there. Yeah.
These fans want anything.
So what that does is essentially makes it so that you can kind of sometimes sneak. You can sneak a win on somebody or stealing something from somebody. So because there's a lot of racing, you'll see somebody at the table grabbing 2 yellows or grabbing a yellow, and then you've got a yellow, and you're like, you're probably going to go for the same thing I'm going for. So
right.
A little bit of racing, and you have to kind of figure out the timing of the way that you can take your actions so that you can get there before they do.
Very cool. So, what are some like really cool audience powers or that you've seen that you've developed here?
All these. So one of the ones that I like the ones that think like late game. So we've got a couple of cards that are, if you win the encore round, you get an extra point, or if you tie in the encore round, then you actually win, which is just ridiculously brutal because in the encore round you're going to be just rolling dice against each other, and whoever rolls highest. That is the only time, by the way, in the game that actually rolling high means anything. If you roll highest, then you'll win that round. Well, if you both play to the encore, if you're playing it like in a 4-player game, you got 2 people that are going for the encore. It's likely that you're both going to roll 3 or 4 dice, and it's likely that with 3 or 4 dice you'll get an 18 or 24, and then you'll be tied. And then you have to play again unless you've got the audience card that lets you win the tie.
Break the ties.
So when that comes in, it becomes incredibly strong. Some of the audience cards also, they help you manipulate your dice, or they give you bonuses for creating certain performances. And so as long as you play to them as you have them in your tableau, you're getting advantages, you're getting resources, and you're breaking out ahead against the other players.
Very cool. And then one more thing I do have to ask.
Yeah.
What's your favorite one of these bards?
Oh yeah,
not of the entire deck.
Oh yeah. I actually is she already out? Just hold up. Oh yeah, she's right here. Okay, yeah, it's this one here. So obviously, I do like our flagship character, which is the one that shows up.
You have
She's got the double bass going, and she's got this really great grimace, and I love her. But I kind of like the silliness of this one, which is our veteran dancer character. She's got puppets. Oh no, the puppet doesn't show up.
Oh no!
Yeah, look at that. It's hilarious. The puppet is green, but she's got a castle on her head, which like sets the scene, and then she's got a dragon in one hand and a knight in the other, and she's essentially on stage showing off what she can do up there, and I just think it's hilarious. Justin's art is great, and it just lends itself to just whimsical,
It reminds me of like a children's storybook with the whimsical.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's definitely Justin's style for sure, and it's great working with him.
Very cool. All right, so Battle of the Bards.
Yes.
Where can we find it?
Nowhere yet. We're on our victory tour, literally on our own victory tour, showing off the game. We just had Kickstarted about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So if you go to the Kickstarter page, we have a pre-order button, of course, open and ready for you to purchase if you'd like. And up until the moment that we ship the game to all of our backers, we always treat everybody as if you had backed during the Kickstarter. I always think it's weird. It's like if you didn't know me during that month, then go away.
Yeah.
So we always kind of incorporate that back in and give everybody a bonus for that.
So I know Kickstarter is it tends to vary in terms of delivery schedule.
Yes.
I think people understand that.
Yes,
but when are you projecting to fulfill right now?
So we told everybody during the Kickstarter that we're probably looking for November.
Okay.
But it's likely. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, do you have more than 2 viewers? Because if I do, I probably shouldn't say this, but
yeah,
it's probably going to be before November. And then don't quote me on that.
Oh,
Don't
you're
make a meme of
overcommitting.
that.
Oh no.
Yeah, I did it.
Man.
I did it. Yeah. But it's likely to be before November, just because the game is in a really good state. I mean, you can see essentially the game's really
it looks
close to being
good.
done. And as we play test, this is the one preview copy we've got. And so as we play test this version, the tweaks that we're needing to do are very minor. And so we're going to be going to production very soon.
Very cool. And that means that holiday season we should be getting these games
absolutely,
in.
absolutely,
I like
yeah,
it. I like
absolutely.
it.
We've got other things on the docket as well on our roadmap, but we're really excited to get this one out and see what people can do with it.
Fantastic. So that's Battle of the Bards. What else is going on at Junk Spirit Games that you can tell me about?
I can tell you that our next game will be called Longships. It is a pick up and deliver game, except the pickup part of the game is Vikings raiding. So you go and you raid the European Isles there, and then bring it back. It's relatively loosely historic, but it will have a very it's kind of like I wouldn't say it's off brand for us, but it's not going to be like super cute. And
I was going to say, does it fit into the same style here? Or is it a different?
It's completely, yeah. We're trying to bring a more like, I wouldn't say like historically accurate, but more like real life kind of look to this one.
Gotcha.
We're very excited about it. It's made by the same person who made our previous game, which was Tyler Sigmund's Crows. So Tyler Sigmund made that game. Looking forward to bringing it out, and then just kind of showing off that one. And then we do have an expansion for this one coming soon that will be just 2 players, where I will introduce a bunch of super brutal PvP tactics that you can just pounce on each other with it. So
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And is there anything else you want to talk about today?
No, I think it's been great. We're kind of, like I said, we're on our victory tour, so we're having a great time just talking to everybody and showing everything off. So it's great. It's great to meet nice people.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Congratulations on the Kickstarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking forward to seeing Battle of the Bards starting to get into people's hands, and the rest of what's coming up, Longships with Junk Spirit Games.
Yep, absolutely, man.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really do appreciate it.
Awesome.
And thank all of you for watching at home. Stay tuned throughout the week here as we bring you more coverage from GAMA 2019. But for now, I'm Matt signing off. Have a good one, everyone.